Hey, this is Anime Disrobes, and this is daily recap and reaction to the best anime moments. Check the description for the anime we'll be talking about today. Today we have a jam-packed list as Saturday has a lot to offer, and I do mean a lot. So let's start. Happy One Piece Day, everyone. We start Saturday off with One Piece episode 1054, Death to Your Partner, Killer's Deadly Gamble. There's two storylines to unpack here, folks. We have Kid in Law versus Big Mom, and Killer versus Hawkins. This episode mostly focuses on Killer versus Hawkins. Hawkins has been made out to be quite the cruel character. He laughs at Killer after learning he ate a smile fruit, making it so that Killer can only laugh throughout the fight. Killer prevents anyone from hurting Hawkins, since Kid will take damage. I had a thought here of how he could win, but let's save it for later. On the other side, we see a deadly battle as Kid and Law are getting tossed around by Big Mom. And any additional damage can be fatal. Unfortunately for Kid, he is taking that extra damage as forms of migraines. Migraines so bad that Big Mom so graciously decides to help. Her response is teaching bad kids a lesson by chopping their heads off. I would want my mom to learn from Big Mom. I kinda like my head. We see the extra damage due to Hawkins ramming his head into a wall. Killer finally makes a decision. Kid has no left arm, so if you cut him there, it's over. I wonder if that would work for other body parts. Like if someone doesn't have a... So Killer just does that, slicing Hawkins' arm off and removing the puppet. This was apparently Hawkins' last puppet, which if Killer could take out Kid, I don't know why he asked instead of just reaching in like a bag and taking out all the other puppets, if there were any, but I guess drama. Also, hearing Killer say Kid will be king of the pirates is so weird after hearing Luffy's crew say it for so long, since we all know, come on, Kid could never. Anyways, Killer goes in for the finishing blow, ending Hawkins, freeing Kid of the pain, allowing him to fight Big Mom without any distractions. For a man that can predict outcomes and futures, Hawkins losing to Killer was interesting, but I guess he couldn't feel the heart of the cards. Hawkins switching sides would have been funny, but with how he was laughing at Killer, it's hard to say him getting sliced up isn't satisfying. I now leave you with this last moment between Killer and Kid to end the episode. Concerning the hype that is Saturday, Season 1, Episode 23 of Bluelock, Luck. We see that Lady Luck has chosen Rin and the red team has won. Rin doesn't feel like a winner as it feels defeated, so he says, I don't care what anybody says, Isagi, come get destroyed. That's the type of ego I would need in my striker. Isagi tries to make his old team feel better, but not being chosen will never feel good. I do miss the old group a little bit, but this new group has some funny moments. Just watch this.
仕込まらなくてもウェルカムトゥトップ 3! あ、先輩風吹かせてるみたいになっちゃった。パワハラとか思わないで。
Then they have a long discussion on luck with Ego. Ego talks about bad luck versus observation and how things can be avoided if you observe it, so that part isn't luck. Ego is pretty much saying luck is putting oneself in a spot to succeed and waiting for that luck. Being in that possibility makes things possible in the first place. It runs on the theme that the striker is where the game is most intense that was shown in the beginning of the show. Ego ends with something akin to what other athletes say. You put in the work and you accept the outcome, etching that outcome into your mind. Rin doesn't think everything Ego says is facts, but he does say that the goal he had was him accepting his loss and he needed luck to win. Isagi continues on his growth, leveling up as we see Bluelock truly is the hyperbolic time chamber. Then they are told they are playing a 5v5 against a World 5 in one day, which is a lot of time. Isagi tries his best to catch up, joining Rin on his cooldown and even practicing instead of resting. Rin speaks English and this back and forth is so perfect, just take a listen.
Yeah, that's right. There's no reason I'd come to place like between two or beside earning a little extra dough.
Listen up. I'm gonna crush you. Your little Japanese sightseeing trip is gonna turn traumatic.
I like your spirit, you dumb brat.
Bachira hits him with a good move and Isagi adjusts to do something beyond what Bachira is thinking, but not beyond enough as Bachira passes to Rin, who smacks it in, as we start the epic last battle before the season ends. Alrighty, we're getting real emotional now, folks. We have Season 6, Episode 24, or Episode 137 overall, from My Hero Academia, A Young Woman's Declaration. As they bring Deku back, they want to ensure everyone that this is the safest place. They describe how UA is reinforced, something that was prepared for the school festival, but as we saw, it was never used. Wow, that festival feels like so long ago. Each piece is separate and can become a shelter by going underground. They also have support underneath that can delay any attack by the way they are stacked and can separate, acting as a perfect counter to decay. truly a hub of safety. The principal tried to talk to people into understanding why bringing Deku there is the right choice, but it didn't work. Best Genius also tries, and that doesn't work. The people are not feeling it, as they are scared they will be put in harm's way as a big bad's target will be their next door neighbor. Their fear is understandable, but it's not like they can do anything on their own, so why are they talking so much? Uraraka gives a heartwarming speech that helps everyone look at Deku not as some target or curse, but as a human being. Her whole thing is that she is happy to see other smiling faces, and the ones to support heroes in the time of need are the public. Koda and the Heteromorph Deku saved come to his side after the speech to give him support, since Deku doesn't want to be a burden to folks in UA. But just like UA accepted them, they want UA to accept and protect Deku, who has been protecting them for so long. Man, oh man, I got teary-eyed just thinking about this episode again. Then some random guy gives a speech that actually makes sense, saying that the hero system was like a performance and the general populace was just audience members. Now people don't like it since they are forced to participate and it has become real. Man was speaking facts, so I can't hate at all. At the end we see Aizawa with a robotic leg that looks absolute badass as he discussed a countermeasure for some of the popular villains. We end up with a familiar face creeping up again. Taking a detour to Hulu quickly, we have Season 2 Episode 11 of Tokyo Revengers, On My Way Home. We have the first meeting of the Tokyo Manjai group, and Haikai apologizes to everyone for starting the conflict. Then we see the upper echelon of Black Dragon as they have been taken under Toman and wanted to join Takemichi. I don't think they have any ulterior motives. I think they were just inspired by how he held his own against Daiju, but I guess we shall see. Then Mikey does the baller and right move, kicking Kisaki out of Toman. Since Kisaki got kicked out, his boy Hanuma says, I'm out as well, along with Mobius and Valhalla. That leaves Toman with 100 people. Mikey again has the coldest lines, hitting him with the disrespectful, okay, along with the fact that Toman had gotten too big. Let's give this his awesome side-by-side of everybody that Kisaki is hurt. I would have preferred for him to get punched in the face, but you know, we'll take this. Kisaki does his best to worm his way out of this one, but once Mikey says something, it's out. Then we fast forward to Mikey giving Takemichi the twin of his bike. Apparently Mikey's brother found the two engines in the Philippines, and now Mikey was able to fix it up. That's amazing. He gave his twin bike to Takemichi, the opposite ends of everything, but brothers forever. Takemichi learns how to ride it and goes into the future thinking everything is all good because Kisaki, the root of all the issues, has been weeded out of Toman. Only thing now is that Mitsuya is dead in the future. The plot continues to thicken. The train doesn't stop here just yet. We have Season 1, Episode 11 of Chilling in My 30s after getting fired from the Demon King's army. Dariel has a showdown. Always a mouthful. Salamandra, a salamander magical beast, attacks the mine, and Dariel as well as other heroes go to stop it. Dariel manages to make it go away after they grounded it, but Dariel can't shake the feeling that it feels so familiar. We find out that Vash Barza has used hexes, or forbidden magic, to tame the magical beast. The hex is powerful, but it backfires, weakening the caster's body and eating away at their mind. It also turns out that Mithril is a piece of the magical earth beast, Gigantomachia, and he releases the restrictions present in the structure of the Mithril. I guess that means like carbon can either be super weak or strong like diamonds, depending on their molecular structure, so it's possible the beast changes the structure, making it stronger. That or I'm thinking about it too much and it's just an upgrade. Dariel rushes to Lux Village as he finds out it's in trouble. As Barbaza is like, oh, I'll destroy your village since he's the #1 Dariel hater. Once he gets there, he notices Dariel is married and becomes the number 2, 3, 4, and 5 Dariel hater, since he's going to burn his family first. Dariel tries to talk him out of it, but Barbaza is way too envious and it's pretty much like, I didn't get love as an adult when I failed. Which is an interesting reasoning, but let's continue. They break Baja from the beast, and Dariel tries to continue to give him the talk no jutsu, saying he's proud of how hard he's worked. But Baja, on top of wanting to kill Dariel, is like, oh, I will wipe out all the humans ending this war. Which actually makes sense, since he's one of the top 4 of the highest Demon King's army, whose whole point is to kill the humans, at least in this point in time. Dariel almost destroys him, forcing Baja to use his trump card and become part dragon. Baja is mad he had to use the trump card, saying it was for the heroes. But imagine how mad he's going to be when he knows that Dariel is the hero's son after he gets his ass whooped. But we'll have to wait for the next episode to see that happen. Up next is Nier Automata version 1.1a, Season 1, Episode 8, Ajiwo Kuta. Let me know if I butchered that down below. This is the day of slow development. 2B and 9S report the A2 sighting as they are told to go after her. Then they ask around, but people don't know, although 2B knows Lily is lying, which Jackass later confirms. Also, they named her Jackass, which is hilarious. But I digress. 2B removed her visor and they gave her a soundtrack, so I'm just gonna let it play for a little bit. Jackass goes fishing and throws a goddamn grenade, which is insane, but it worked, so I can't hate on it. 2B and 9S split up, where 9S peeks into a talk of the commander trying to help them out, but we see that the upper brass just see everyone as expendable. Just as that happens, there's a jammer, and we see paintings of 2B and 9S, which is creepy, and you can feel the suspense. Then they have this beauty of cinematography, so just watch this. The vision getting darker on the top and bottom, along with the suspense they added, that was a chef's kiss scene. Mwah. If I've ever seen one. That was a chef's kiss scene if I've ever seen one. It ends with the younger brother of the twins not knowing what the eldest is, but we know better. We continue Saturday with TriGun Stampede, Season 1, Episode 11, To a New World. Knives start to assimilate Vash with these tentacle-looking things, which looks like the start of something else. We also find out that plants are just husks, and the true self is in another dimension. I don't fully believe the husk part, since we see they are in pain, and since when can a husk feel pain? Meryl seems to be there just to give the viewer an explanation, since she's useless in stopping Vash and Knives. But I appreciate the explanation. Regardless, their plan is to give the plants souls by making them independent, just like Vash and Knives. Knives then torments Vash by releasing all his memories. Although this scene right here came out of nowhere, and that's pretty funny. Then we see Vash's most treasured memories with Rem, allowing us to see more of the interactions, along with how Vash gave Knives the code. Vash then gets assimilated to 100%, and Knives hits Vash with a happy birthday, which is absolute savagery. We end with Knives going through the portal, and we see the true form we were told about of the plants. Now we go at Yowamushipedal Limit Break, Season 5, Episode 23, Kinjo's Final Job. Honestly, not much happened in this episode, but this whole later half of the show has been good, so I'm not surprised. They just recap Makishima leaving, and then Kinjo tells Ona that they are a team, so lean on each other. That's really the whole episode. Also, apparently, Onoda has been sending letters, but Makishima doesn't really respond, except with the one line, which is weird, but just more disappointment to add to what this show has become. Now we have Saving an 80,000 Gold in Another World, Season 1, Episode 11. The messenger goes into battle. Also a straightforward episode. They save the people from the goblins, then Mizuha gives a rousing speech, which is a little sus, but let's continue. Then they defend the city with big-ass tanks and technology rules over everything. Misuza knows way too much about war, which the way she talks is eerie, telling them how much they need to harm them and where and when the war will end. At the end we see a big boy, a dragon, so let's see where that goes. Overall, Mizuza is kind of the protagonist I wish there was, but things just don't make sense. At this point, she's saving an entire nation and still trying to save money. I guess there's a reason to make the plot continue, but this show doesn't make sense. Almost to the end there. Now we have Don't Toy With Me, Ms.Nagatoro, The Second Attack, Season 2, Episode 12, Wanna Do Something to Not Make It a Dry Run. Not too much complexity here. Senpai and Nagatoro go on a date while they are stalked by 4 people. They see various things in the aquarium. Then she gets mad they aren't holding hands, and a pain many people can resonate with. She expects him to know this without saying anything, which is crazy, but as you've seen in Nagatoro, she's pretty crazy. Then they see some dolphins, which are hella cute, but why does no one have eyes? It's so unsettling when they do, and they're surrounded by people that don't have anything. Just empty it out or copy and paste some eyes at that point. They end the day with a point totaling and having fun, but the friends end up stopping by and get chased into the view by the ex-president of the art club and her cousin. Nagatoro gets nervous and wants to suplex my man, which I guess is an option. They end with a hug, which is cute, but it's also the worst hug I've ever seen in my entire life. This is terrible. So that's everything I watched worth noting on Saturday. Thanks for sticking around. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Commenting really helps me interact with you folks. I will catch you all later. Saturday, March 18, 2023 has officially been disrobed.